Well, good morning. How is everybody? Boy, lots to talk about today. I've told you that I'm going to do these things so we can talk about what's happened overnight. And a lot of announcements came out overnight about this country opening back up in a lot of different places. There were announcements made by Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, South Carolina, Michigan, Wisconsin, Idaho, that they're all opening back up in whole or in part in the next few days. I mean, some already have opened up some things, and some are going to open up other functions. Let's talk about that. I kind of want to know how you feel about it, and let me kind of put this in context. Michigan on the list, if you rank the states from the highest level of activity in terms of cases identified, number of deaths recorded. Of course, right now New York is the epicenter. That's the highest, and then we've got New Jersey, and it starts working down from there. And Michigan is number 6, and they're one of those that is opening up. They have uh, 32,000 cases, 2,468 deaths. Now, of course, these are changing from day to day and depending on which source you're talking to. But Michigan's number 6, Texas is number 10, uh, Tennessee's number 19, Wisconsin's number 26, South Carolina's number 27, Idaho's number 39. So we've got from 6 down to number 39. And if you take the top 2 or 3 states, um, depending on um, how you calculate, if you take the top 2 or 3 states and you add up their number of new cases or their number of total cases and the number of deaths, and you combine the top 2 or 3 states, it equals the other 47 states combined. So it takes the rest of the United States to equal what you find in New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, because you've got 256,000 cases in New York, 88,000 in New Jersey, and then it drops to under 40,000 in Massachusetts, which is number 3, and Pennsylvania, which is number 4. So New York and New Jersey count for about 350,000 cases, just below that, and it takes the entire rest of the United States combined to equal that. So there's a lot concentrated up in that one hotspot area. So, for example, Georgia, just taking them as an example, they're going to open up gyms, hair salons, bowling alleys, and tattoo parlors are the things that they list in their press releases. Pretty odd choices, I would think. You can go bowling and get a tattoo. On the 27th, they're going to open up movie theaters, but they are being very responsible about this in saying that you've got to really reduce capacity in all of these places. Texas, same thing. And Texas, by the way, says if you're coming from any of the hotspot states, including California, New York, California, flying out of Chicago, they list different places, and you come to Texas, you've got to stay in a 14-day quarantine once you get there. So you're not going to pop in there for a business trip and then back out, or pop in there to see Granny and then leave. You get there, you got to stay in a 14-day quarantine once you get there, or you can't go to Texas right now. Their schools they say they're going to stay closed for the rest of the year. I assume they mean school year. They're going to allow retail to open up, but only to deliver. So you can go on their website, choose what you want, and they will deliver it. Some of these places, like South Carolina, which is number 27, they're going to open up department stores, furniture stores, bookstores, clothing specialty stores, etc. But they're only going to allow 20% capacity. So it's based on square footage. Based on how many thousand square feet you have, they're going to divide that up and figure out what's necessary to maintain social distancing. So we have, uh, we, as of May 1st, we've got Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, South Carolina, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Idaho that are going to open up in a stepwise fashion. Now, there are 7 states that have no shelter in place orders at all: Arkansas, Iowa, Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, Utah, and Wyoming. They don't have any shelter in place orders. And these are states that have, Wyoming, for example, is number 49 out of 50 in terms of disease activity. They only have 428 cases and 2 deaths. North Dakota, 644 cases and 13 deaths. So when you get down into the bottom 10 on the list based on activity, they all have low double-digit cases in terms of death. And listen, every death is tragic. So to say that they only have 33 deaths, that's 33 people that won't be here this year. And for the families, that's 100%. So that's terrible. And of course, that's not to be made light of at all. But in comparison to what you see when you look at New York, that has 19,410 deaths, and New Jersey that has 4,377. And of course, that number is changing all the time. So you can probably go look it up to the minute, and it'll probably be different. But it at least is plateauing out. There are new deaths today, 481. And that's as flat as it's been since the early part of April. That's good news in that it's flattening out. It's bad news in still 481 people a day are losing their lives in New York. And that's tragic, of course. We hate that. So I really hope that those states that are opening up are going to stick with what they're saying, and they're going to do this responsibly as they move along. So I just wanted to let you know that is afoot, and that's what people are saying they're going to do. We're starting to bring you, we're going to finish this week out with cases about what's happening in a coronavirus frame. We're talking about the psychological, mental, emotional aspects of it, but in a coronavirus frame. Today's show, we're calling Moms Gone Mad. We meet 2 moms dealing with anxiety due to the quarantine. They say they didn't sign up for this. They didn't sign up to be teacher, short order cook, wrestling coach, dance teacher, math tutor, activities director, and mom. And we also talked to a principal of a school that's worried about her parents and how they're handling their new job of teacher. And Dana's a stay-at-home mom of 2 and a stepmom to a teenage daughter. And she says when things get really bad, she threatens to use her special stick that she calls Mama's Ass Popper. She's got that written on it. And it's a kind of a wooden spoon stick type thing. And she kind of backpedals and says she doesn't really use it. But the kids have hidden every wooden spoon in the house. She has no wooden spoons. She had a dozen. Now they're just all of a sudden disappeared. She finds them hidden in the couch and that sort of thing. So if your nerves on this last end, don't think you're alone. We talked to Kimberly, a stay-at-home mom that has 5 children under 10 years of age. 5 children under 10 years of age. I think I would barricade myself in the attic. You would have a hard time finding me. I don't know that I'd be able to handle that. Now, she also has mental health issues, including OCD, PTSD, and depression. So she's got some issues that keep her very much on edge. Then she has 5 children under 10, so you can imagine what's going on there. So I think watching this will maybe kind of help you keep this in context, but hopefully you're not going to have to do this for too terribly much longer. I've said that we would be selecting questions, and so I want to get right to those. Can I ever get good, easy names? Rita Ufkes, Ufkes. Really struggling with my 12-year-old doing homework. My child needs a classroom. I'm at my wit's end. Um, Look, I know that's tough, and it's tough for you and it's tough for your child because learning, we've been in a pattern where learning is a situation-specific deal, right? They go to a school house, to a school room with a school teacher, and those are all triggers. Those are all signs that, okay, it's time to discipline and learn. And home is their soft place to fall. It's their place to play. And mom is their nurturer. And now all of a sudden you're having to be teacher and disciplinarian. And so they're distracted. All the things that they have at home, their toys, their TV shows, the little brother, little sister, whatever. There are a lot of distractions. And all I can tell you is we realize it's difficult. The best thing in the world you can do is maintain a schedule. Those children need to get up at the same time they did during the school year when they went to school. They need to get up, take a shower, get dressed, and they need to go to a designated area of the house at a designated time, and they need to do their schedule just as they would at school. And the more you put on them, the less falls on you. So you've got to maintain that schedule. And if you are asking them to work straight through from 9 to 2, that's not what happens at school. I promise you, classes are like 45 minutes. And the first 15 minutes are kind of, hi, how are you? What'd you do last night? What'd you think about what we did yesterday? It's kind of chit chat. Then there's like a 20-minute learning block in the middle where they really bear down and focus. And then towards the end, it's kind of housekeeping and talking about tomorrow, so it's less intense. I just did a podcast with teachers about homeschooling, and you can listen to that on Fill in the Blanks, but that's what every one of those teachers told me. They said there's a transition in, a solid learning period, and a transition out, and that children need to take breaks every hour or so for maybe 10 minutes where they can go play or go be distracted or do something, where they get a break or you're going to get fatigued. Tamanik, Nikita, Lorraine, Marquez, Moriara from South Africa, starting to feel the pressure of being at home with a little one. His bedtime is all out, and I am struggling to get it back to normal, just like I am starting from the start again. And you're right. Whenever there's something different like this, all the rules go out the window. That's the worst time in the world to throw the rules out the window. When things change, whether it's going through divorce, natural disaster, a change of housing, whatever, children look to mom and dad to run the business of the family. That's when they need the structure. That's not when you want to say, hey, it's a new day, it's tough for them, so I'm going to be indulgent. No, that may seem like the time to do that. It is the worst time to do that. That's when you need to maintain the structure. That's when you need to keep them on that schedule so they can go, okay, things seem to be changing around me, but at the same time, my life is staying on track. I have somebody running the business of the family so I can relax and be at ease about it. So this is a time to really lean on your schedule. Program for success. Let the schedule carry them. Eileen Penn O'Brien says, I think it's an impossible situation to have a parent homeschool their children while working full-time at their essential job. My daughter is a nurse practitioner working full-time and has a first grader and a preschooler and a toddler. No daycare now, no preschool, no school. And if you have parents working at home, how do they have the time to help children who need help? Oh boy, Eileen, you've just described one of the reasons that I'm saying this is not a situation that doesn't have problems of being in quarantine, that it doesn't create mental emotional turmoil, that it doesn't create tension and stress and anxiety and depression. Because you're right, you're trying to keep so many balls in the air that you start to panic and balls start to drop and kids fall behind. And that's why we need to responsibly do what we can to get back to the world running the way that it's been running before. I'm not saying that that's not without risk, but staying in quarantine is not without risk either. So, as soon as the scientists tell us that it's practical to start phasing back into our lives, that's what needs to happen. But we need to follow the science, and when we do it, we need to do it practically. But you're exactly right. Your daughter, God bless her for being on that front line, helping everyone. And but then that means she sacrifices. If you put all your effort into that, you sacrifice at home. You put all your effort in at home, you sacrifice being on the front line helping everybody that needs her so desperately. So it is a tough situation, and all she can do is the best she can do. But let me tell you, all of these people that are on the front lines, and by the way, front lines, that does not just mean doctors, nurses, EMTs, and paramedics. God bless them for being out there doing what they're doing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But it also means the clerks at the grocery store, the people where we go to get the things we essentially need. They're interacting with 150 people a day in some of these busy stores. The people that are stocking those shelves and putting things up there, they're touching all of this stuff where this virus can live on surfaces. They're putting themselves in harm's way so the rest of the world has something to eat, has something to use at home. So they're on the front lines too. So next time you go to the store and you're frustrated standing in line for an extra 20 minutes or 30 minutes or hour or 2 hours, when you get up there, realize that person didn't cause that to happen. They're just there standing on. If you had to wait an extra 2 hours, trust me, they're working extra hours and putting themselves in harm's way too. Everybody that's out there doing essential jobs, mass transit, grocery stores, maintaining the police force, the fire department, public utilities, all of these places that are keeping the world running, they deserve a tip of the hat from 6 feet away and say thank you for being out here doing this. So um, do that. Um, Ian Ford says, did you ever think you would use your psych training to help people in pandemic slash quarantine? No, no, I never really did because I never would foresee something like this happening in our lifetime. I mean, we've had these big infections before. We had it in '03 and in '08, '09, but we never shut the world down like this. But when it happened, I felt that in many respects, everything that I had been doing up till now had prepared me to do what I'm now doing. Because when I went to school, I completed the core training in clinical psychology, but I also completed the core training in behavioral medicine or medical psychology. And that's the point at which our psychological functioning, our mood, our emotion, our mental health interacts with our physical health. And I worked a lot with chronic disease in that regard. So um, when I went through that training, I think it really prepared me for dealing with a prolonged situation where mood and emotion starts to impact physical health, and physical health starts to impact mood and emotion. So as it turns out, I think I was very uniquely and specifically trained to do this. And you've heard me say time and time and time again, I'm not an infectious disease expert. I'm not a molecular microbiologist, but I have them on the show. so they can tell us uh, everything that's going on, and I have access to those people where you may not. So I'm trying to bring those people to you so you get the straight skinny without any um, political spin to it, without any agenda. And I was looking back over the experts that we've had on the show. Dr. Pat Johnson, head of neurosurgery at Cedars-Sinai. Professor Paula Cannon, PhD in molecular microbiology and immunology from the Keck School of Medicine at USC. She's worked real extensively as an HIV scientist at Oxford and Harvard universities. Dr. Abdu Sharkawi, infectious disease specialist, University of Toronto. Malia Jones, a PhD at the UCLA Fielding School of Public Health. She's a social epidemiologist that's taught us so much about this. If we go down, we've had like Sheriff Alex Villanueva, our sheriff here, the largest sheriff's department in the country, talking about scams and how to enforce what's going on. We had Dr. Norman Freed, PhD disaster mental health specialist. He works for the American Red Cross in Greater New York, been a clinical psychologist for 30 years. Anthony Chiampa, who's head of the New York State Nurses Association. Dr. Daniela Lamas, MD with Brigham and Women's Hospital and Harvard Medical School faculty. Dr. Dina Grayson, she's been very involved. She's at Washington University School of Medicine, been very involved in working on antivirals for Ebola, yellow fever, Zika, things like that. Dr. Susanna Nagy from Johns Hopkins School of Medicine, Duke University as well. So we've had all of these kind of people on, and we've got a real special person on, Dr. Glanville, this week that is going to bring some very exciting news that's very encouraging, and that show is going to be on Wednesday. You do not want to miss that. It's going to be very encouraging. So I brought you the medical experts, and I've tried to, not just myself, but bring other PhDs on to talk about the mental emotional aspects of it. I've been very clear. I'm not giving you the medical side. I'm giving you the mental emotional side. So I know I didn't think I would actually be doing it in this context, but as it turns out, my training was spot on for what we're doing, and I'm not glad that I'm using it in this regard, but I'm glad that I'm prepared to do it. So watch today's show. I think it will give you some perspectives about how to deal with your children, how to deal with homeschooling, and how to manage the children. And be sure and watch tomorrow's show with Dr. Glanville. He talks about some things that are going to be game changing in our fight against COVID-19. Very exciting. I think you're going to be pleased when you hear about that. I may not, I don't think I'm going to be here tomorrow or Thursday because of scheduling conflicts with taping. So it may be Monday before I see you back again. But I appreciate you tuning into these things. All the others that we've done are on YouTube, where you can go back and check out the things we've been talking about. We've had some great conversations and some great questions. Keep them coming. I'll keep answering them. We'll see you very soon. Thanks so much.